Hi, I'm Willie and welcome to my channel. So we've done some Synology stuff. We're digging in. I was going to do a VPN video tonight, but VPN is being finicky and I want to smooth that out. I don't want to do, an hour troubleshooting video and who knows who'll even watch or who'll even like it and just be me ranting and raving. Anyway, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to combine a little bit of EdgeSwitch with a little bit of Synology. Now, if you go way back to my beginning videos, I did routing from an EdgeSwitch to an edge router. And we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to go from an EdgeSwitch to our Synology. So, what a router does, let's talk about that real quick. So, a router, it sends information from one place to another based on a route table. And you can have routes that you know, and then if you are trying to get to a destination that you don't know, you have a default route. So you either send to places where you know, or you send out your default route. And for routers to talk to each other, they have to be in the same network. So what you're going to see is we're going to get rid of the default management VLAN on our switch, which is right now on VLAN 1. We're going to make up some VLAN and just disregard that for now, because the EdgeSwitch will give you an interface, an admin interface on any layer 3 interface by default. So you'll see that as we walk through this. And then what we'll do is we'll create a layer 3 VLAN 1 routing interface, and that will be in the same network as our Synology, so we should be able to route packets back and forth successfully. So let's hop over to the EdgeSwitch and let's get started on that. Okay, here's the EdgeSwitch that we've been using in all of our videos so far, the new ones. And what we're going to do, right now we're not plugged into this switch, but we will be. So you'll remember that previously we created a few VLANs on this switch. So we need this VLAN to correspond with our other VLAN. Kind of think it like this is, right now this is just layer 2. There's no layer 3 stuff happening. What I've done is I've exempted VLAN 1 from ports 6, 7, and 8, because those are the 3 that we're going to use to plug into. Then what I've done is VLAN 2, I have made the untagged VLAN for 6, 7, and 8 VLAN 2. Now, you could have all these different VLANs, and you could have each port being a different VLAN and set it up this way. Right now, we're going to concentrate on getting traffic flowing from VLAN 2 out to the rest of the network, and routing using the switch and our router. This will work with any router that can NAT multiple networks behind it. If you've got some off-brand router and it can only NAT its local, then the internet part of this will fail. You'll probably be able to route internally, but that's going to be it. But our goal is to get out to the internet. So we've got VLAN 2 here. We've got ports 6, 7, and 8 with VLAN 2 as the untagged, so this is the native VLAN for those ports. So the next thing we've got to do on our Ubiquiti switch, and by the way, this will work awesome for a small office. Medium and large enterprise, at the moment, you're going to probably want to look at something else. You can only do 16 routes, and there's no OSPF or any type of dynamic routing protocol. So we will, it will route between, and we can do some static routes and things like that. But the first thing we need to do is we need to enable routing mode. So we went to routing IP configuration, and we enabled routing mode. We'll go ahead and submit that. And we'll just save that config real quick. we're going to go over to Interface Summary, and we're going to display all, and you can see that we don't have any VLANs here yet. So now what we need to do is we need to go back to our VLANs, and we're going to edit VLAN 2, and we are going to enable VLAN routing on VLAN 2. Once that's done, save your configuration. We're going to go back over to routing, and we're going to go back to that interface summary. And now at the bottom, you see VLAN 2 is there. So we're going to edit this guy. And it is a VLAN, it is down. Routing mode is now, it's enabled. Admin mode, the interface is enabled. So admin mode is you either disable or enable the interface. IP address, we're going to put manual, and we're going to call this 192.168.222.1, and we're going to just make it a class C here. And everything else at this point, we can go ahead and just leave that default. We'll save that. Now, if you remember, when we configured our switch, we gave it this 192.168.66.6. We're going to stay with that because we have to use something in the 66 range because that is the network that our router is in. And for us to route packets, we have to be, the router has to be able to be in the same network for, its external interface. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to hop over to the Synology. By the way, I've been playing with this thing, and the videos are going to be coming, and we're going to be using this with all kinds of other different equipment, and it's going to be awesome. We just got a technology smorgasbord going on. I've got two-factor authentication set up on this, and this just expired, so as soon as it rolls, we will put the new number in, and we'll get signed into our router. So then we're going to go over to Network Center, to Local Network, and we're going to go over here and we're going to go static route, and we're going to create, and we're going to do 222.0 with a 255.255.255.0 subnet mask. Gateway is going to be that 66.6. So this router knows where that network is. It's on its LAN interface. So we're going to look at this interface. We're going to go to LAN. So the router here knows that if it wants to send anything to any of these IP addresses, it has to go to this 66.6. We're going to hop back over to the switch after we save this and get this all squared away so this will work. So we'll save that. So we've got this set up in our router. So now we go back to our EdgeSwitch. Now, we can't, there's some things, the way I'm going to show you this is going to be a little bit easier than trying to muddle through with this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our Ethernet cable and we're going to plug into port 7 because that is on that VLAN, that layer 3 and layer 2 VLAN. So we should be able to get to 192.168.222.1. So I don't have any DHCP, so I'll manually configure my PC, but that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go from the switch here to that port. We should get a link light here. We're going to bring up our PC config. And we're going to call this 192.168.222.2. And that's fine. And then we'll just use Google DNS servers. Now obviously right now no traffic is going to be flowing because the routing is not completely enabled yet on the switch. So now we need to go to 192.168.222.1. And so I told you by default the switch will answer on any layer 3 interface, and indeed it does. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into System, Connectivity, IP version 4. And for the moment, because this switch is not configured completely, we're going to just change this to some IP that we don't even have here. And then we're going to change the VLAN management ID over to 24. So what we're doing is we're ridding the default management interface of VLAN 1. We're going to go ahead and submit that. And we'll save it. Then we're going to go back over to VLANs. And now you'll see that we can't select VLAN 1. So now what we've got to do is we've got to go over to Routing, Interface Configuration. VLAN 1 is here. So now we're going to do Enable, and we'll enable this. We're going to come over here, do manual IP. We're going to call it 192.168.66.6. Okay? And then we are going to go ahead and submit that. And then save it. Then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to come back in here. Configuration. Now we're going to put this global default gateway. So anything that we don't know where the traffic goes, where do we want to send it? Well, we want to send it to 192.168.66.1. That's our gateway out, because anything that's on this switch, we are going to be doing the VLAN, inter-vlan routing for that. So now, in theory, if we bring this up, now we're pinging out. We ping 192.168.66.1, and there it is. But if you look at my IP address, we are 222.2. Now, the reason that it works is because all the routing is set up. And I should be able to get out to the internet. So there's the internet. We got Google News. So here it is. The VLAN routing is working. So, and we're fortunate that Synology is going to give us some crap here because our IP address changed. But the Synology is actually, it nats, apparently nats any thing that tries to get out through it. So we're pretty lucky that we didn't have to mess with that, because sometimes configuring NAT on some of these lower end devices, sometimes it just doesn't work. But this is working for us. So here we're logged in, back right into the router, and it's totally working. So play around with it. Look at this, play with it. It's really this easy to get some inter-vlan routing going on. And take a look at your configuration, take a look at your statistics so you can see what's going on. This is all going to be, layer 3 stuff. You can take a look at the route table, so you can see that 66.0 is a local. Here it's a VLAN 1, then our default is 66.1. You can see the configured routes. We can add a static route here. And then you can take a look. Now, you can only have 16 static routes here. It's my understanding that right now this switch is good for about 400 devices coming to it for routing, somewhere in that neighborhood. I could be totally off base on that. But you should definitely try this out. You can do this with any router. So, let me clarify that. You can do it with any router that will let you add multiple routes. So if you've got just cheap router, but this is 2017, I can't imagine a router not being able to allow you to do static routes and things like that. The Synology, it doesn't do inter-vlan routing yet, but it did static routes, so we were able to take advantage of that to get this going. If you've got any questions about what we did here, put it down put those questions down in the comments and I'll answer those, because maybe it's not so clear why we did some of the things the way we did it. So, but that's it. That's inter-vlan routing, and we can go in here. In fact, let's go back to our switch. So we could go back to our VLANs. Status. And we could go to our video VLAN, and we can enable routing on that video VLAN, and then come back over here. Save that real quick. And we can come down here and edit this. And enable, it's enabled, so we can do manual IP address 192.168.223.1, 255.255.0, and submit this and save it. Okay, then what we can do is come back over to our VLANs. And go to our wizard. And so VLAN 3, we could go to port 9 and 10 and exclude that and make port 9 and 10 untagged on 3, and we'll save this. Yep, and then we'll get back into, we'll go back into our local network. We'll go to static routes. Oh, yeah, we have to do this, otherwise we'll get nothing will work. And once again, that is on our LAN network, so we'll create that. So we're pointing both of those networks back over to the switch interface, which is that 66.6. So now I'm going to take my cable out of 7. I'm going to put it in 9. Okay. What you're going to see this is failing because we're not on the right network. So if I come over here and I pull this up and I change this to 3 and I change that to 3, give my Nick a chance to become ungrouchy, and there it is. So I can come out here, I can go back to Google News. Is there anything good going on? Let's go to technology, see what's going on in technology. Goodbye AOL, about time. So you can see we're already surfing the web just that quickly. Don't believe me? There's a site that we've not been to, weather.gov. I'm looking at the forecast for Peoria. So it's working. That's it. That's really all there is to it. It's really easy. If you've got any questions, put those down there. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment and share. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Please use those Amazon affiliate links down there. They don't change your price. They just kick a few bucks to the channel. Keep some of this gear coming in so we can keep doing these videos. If you need consulting, please reach out to me over at h5technology.com, and we'll see you in the next video.